New parents, we hold ourselves to impossibly high standards. We settle for second or third best when we buy a house or a car, and when it comes to choosing a spouse, ninth best will often do. And yet, for some reason, we throw out this time-tested principle when we have a baby. We try to be perfect parents and raise the perfect baby, even if that means taking care of the baby all the time. In reality, trying to raise a perfect baby is futile because behavior-wise, babies are pretty cracktastic. Howling, vomiting, kind of hard to shoot for perfection when you're doing appalling things like these around the clock. Despite all the media hype about babies, they are loud, dumb, and grimy to the touch. Just one rung on the evolutionary ladder above a common marmoset. I'm speaking from my experience, not only as a parent, but as a pediatrician. But while raising a perfect baby is impossible, raising a good enough baby is surprisingly easy. That's the message of my new book, The Good Enough Baby, Settling for Little Miss Adequates. Let's begin with what I call the Good Enough Baby checklist. Number 1, is my baby clean enough? Conventional wisdom says that a baby should be clean enough to eat off of. That is absurd. Unless you actually intend to eat off of your baby, which I don't recommend. Babies tend to writhe spasmodically and shoot geysers of half-digested food from their mouths. This makes them a less than ideal dining surface. There are plenty of misconceptions about babies and baths. The old saying, "Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater," implies that the water is something disgusting that you're right to throw out, while the baby is something that you should keep. Well, who made the bathwater disgusting? That's right, the baby. The bathwater was probably drinkable before the baby caked in the remains of meals, and worse, polluted it. A better, less contradictory saying would be, don't give your baby a bath. It's easy to keep your baby clean enough without actually bathing it. Let's say that you've been invited to a house party. En route, quickly run your baby through a lawn sprinkler. Then, let her dry in the sun. Well, when you get to the party, if people recoil as if they had just walked past a chicken processing plant, simply run her through the sprinkler again. Fortunately, keeping your baby clean enough is not very time-consuming because, as new parents, you'll find yourselves invited to very few house parties. Number 2, is my baby well-fed enough? There's an old wives' tale that says babies cry when they're hungry. Some parenting books buy this whopper hook, line, and sinker, suggesting that a baby be fed on demand. This is hardly the way to prepare a baby for the real world, where the only things available on demand are cable movies. Usually dumb stuff like, did you hear about the Morgans? There are plenty of other reasons why a baby cries besides hunger. She might be upset about something that happened to her recently, such as that nasty business with the sprinkler. Even more likely, she's trying to tell you something. For example, that she's tired of seeing you so much. This might be your cue to have dinner out or catch a basketball game. Number 3, is my baby stimulated enough? In the past few decades, so-called early development experts have stressed the importance of so-called enrichment activities. We are now finding that these activities, in addition to being excruciating for the parents, may also be harmful to the baby, lengthening her attention span to the point where she will be unable to enjoy most popular entertainment. Fortunately, there is a simple way to reverse this damage using a system I call FIT. Facebook, iPhone, TV. By exposing your baby to these 3 things for as many hours as possible, you ensure that she will be well equipped for a lifetime of pointless multitasking. Quick test. Put your hands in front of your eyes and play peekaboo with your baby. If she ignores you and picks up your phone instead, reward her with her favorite app. And that's the good enough baby checklist. Actually, there are 7 more items on the list, but let's not be slave drivers about this. One final caveat. Some people may be under the impression that I wrote The Good Enough Baby in order to provide a shortcut for the people who don't take the job of parenting seriously. Nothing could be further from my intention. As a pediatrician, I always remind new parents, when you have a baby, you are bringing a human being into this world. And you are responsible for that human being for the next 5 or 6 years.